I'm noticing that I didn't put it on heavy enough right here, but I guess I can always touch that up with a brush later. And this is the underneath, so I don't think anybody would see it even if I didn't touch it up. Now, even though this towel that we've got down here, the green cloth, is very, very soft, it's on something that's hard. And I realized that if I was to slide it around on this cloth, the pressure points will, they could rub bare. So this is going to spread the load, if you know what I mean. Now, what a person immediately wants to do is to rip off all of the tape and see what we've got, right? But I'm thinking that if I just take off this last couple of strips that we put on, and then check on this gray that we put on that I wasn't happy with, it was so powdery, and because it worked so well when I rubbed the side here with the damp cloth before I painted the hull red, maybe I should. I'm just sort of thinking that maybe what I should do is tape the bottom half, and then sort of rub this powder off the sides here and repaint the gray. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. And if I'm going to do that, that means that I'm going to want to keep this tape on the deck. So real easy here. I don't want to be ripping anything off that. Like I want to leave on the 6mm wide tape. I don't want to accidentally rip that off. We'll just see how this looks. If it doesn't look too bad, I'll just leave it. My experience with masking tape is that if you go nice and slow, it gives the adhesive a chance to let go, and there's less of a chance of ripping the paint off of whatever it is. Whereas if you go fast, it sometimes will take the paint off. Now, sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. Now this is coming off fairly easily because I didn't put it on really hard. Okay, I know places like this it looks like, oh my goodness, It's not too good right there, but you got to remember that this is the yellow 6mm tape that's coming off. The idea is that when we peel this tape off, we are left with our black boot strap. I think it's called a boot strap. I'll get it yet. I'm overexposing a full stop here so that gray can be seen. Well, I don't know if I can improve on it or not. I might be better off just leaving well enough alone. Well, I've turned the hood around here, and I'm looking at the side that I thought was the worst, and looking at it, it looks okay. It looks okay. So let's just go with what we got. Just going to very carefully reveal our boot strap. Very slowly. I'm not seeing any paint coming off anywhere on the yellow here. So I do remember one time I was watching somebody do this. He had I think he had done the 1 to 700 scale of something. I think it was the Bismarck, but I'm not sure. And I was watching this, it must have been going on a couple of years ago, and the poor guy, he pulled off his masking tape, and don't you know, a whole bunch of the paint came with it. I felt so bad for him. It seems to me that he was able to fix it. Now, you can see how the line now is just sort of coming into view. That is, if I remember to push record. I don't know if I'm going to do the same system on the Rodney or not. The reason being is that I was noticing that the hull red did not want to cover on this black real well. Although, mind you, this is working all right. Okay, now we'll just turn it around and I'll do the same on the other side. There you can see where that stuff came off onto my... well, I don't know. This is all that powdery stuff I was talking about. No, I think what happened was it flaked off of here. That's what happened. Because everything else looks all right. What's this now? Some kind of static electricity is holding that on there. Okay, if we're not going to be painting the sides here, we don't need the masking tape on the deck anymore. This is almost like an unboxing video. Okay, now where's the end of this one? Must be way down there at the stern. Okay, I'm going to just have to reposition everything here. Okay, let's not go scratching anything. I wonder if maybe I'm trying to take off too much all at once here. Well, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and get the rest of it off. I don't need to worry about pulling tape off or paint off the deck because there's no paint on there, but I think I did a pretty good job here. Oh, I got a little bit of gray there. That's okay, we're going to be painting that over. I'm sort of entertaining the idea of maybe if I was to brush it on the deck, it might sort of look a little bit like weathering because it's not going to be perfect, if you know what I mean. Well, that's it. Way back almost 500 episodes ago, in fact it was episode 62 to be exact, we were doing this. Now, what got me thinking about it was I just got some photos from one of the viewers. He's doing the Bismarck, and this is the stage that he's at right now. He's got the extra add-on kit with all the extra photo etch to bring out the details. And you can see where there's the doors and the portholes and all that kind of stuff. You know, it stands out with photo etch. Now, of course, it looks brass right now, but I'm imagining that what he's going to do is after he, sprays the background or the wall of the bulkhead, he's probably going to take a little paintbrush and meticulously detail every single one of those little pieces, maybe a different kind of gray, maybe lighter, maybe darker, but at least it'll contrast. I'm going to be very interested to see what he does here. Now, Paul, I'm really hoping that you send us updated photos here of how this comes out, what you actually end up doing. Thanks. We used almost 2 jars of our Hull Red painting this. I'm guessing maybe about 1.5 jars, I guess. You remember I did dilute it down quite a bit. One of the viewers was suggesting maybe I should use 50-50 ratio. I've heard that one before. Anyway, I'm saving the little jars here. Take the little these things out. I guess these would be sort of like a seal to help make it a little bit more, I was going to say airtight, but okay. Now we've got a couple of little jars for either small parts or if I want to save some paint. Yeah. Now, this is the cradle that we had on our Bismarck, and the hood is about this much longer than the Bismarck was. So my thinking is that if I was to knock out this end and extend it, maybe by about, I'm guessing, maybe 2.5 inches, because if you remember when we were trying to work on the ensign staff and also the jack stand on the Bismarck, we didn't have enough room, and I had to keep lifting the thing up, the model up, so that I could work on the end here. Yeah, if I knock this out, it's stapled from the bottom here, but the otherwise just sort of glued in. It shouldn't be a big job, and just move this whole thing back, maybe 3 inches. Better safe than sorry, right? Anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I may not video it. We'll see how it goes here. Okay, since I took that last shot, I've come up with another idea here, and I'll show you what I'm thinking of. Just get these staples out of here. Fold this back now. And this piece here. Guess I don't need to be showing absolutely every little aspect of this, do I? Okay. Now, how would it be, instead of breaking these off of this, why don't I just leave this on, pass this over my bandsaw and just cut it off like that, and then just put a little extension in, because I do believe that if I don't put the rudder on until afterwards, the keel would only come back. Well, let's measure it and find out. Okay, very gently here. Yeah, it looks like about 4¼ inches, so if we make it, I think it'd be safe to have something come protruding in this way. 3¾ inches. Just well, no, I think it could be 4 inches, because we are going to, after all, we are going to want to have a little bit of clearance on the stern. So yeah, we could probably make it. Yeah, it's a safe 4 inches. Now, while I'm thinking about it, this wonderful green cloth that we've got here, I didn't realize that it was going to be throwing my auto white balance for a loop, and occasionally my auto exposure. Now I know that in editing I can do color correction, and I can adjust the white balance and stuff like that. However, it was nice to be able to just have everything automatic and didn't have to fool around. So I don't know, maybe this green anyway was the wrong color. I may have been better off getting some sort of a neutral density gray, something like the top of this deck is. You know, that kind of gray, or maybe possibly slightly darker. Yeah, and then of course it would be, being as it's cloth, it wouldn't be reflecting the light back up from the flood lamps. Just thinking out loud again. Just sort of mentioning a little problem that I've noticed because I selected this green. As nice as it looks, yeah, it throws my automatic settings for a loop. Now, I am not adjusting anything here to prove my point. This is just right out of the camera the way it happened. And you'll notice how that when the camera swings around here, it sort of changes the color of the hull. Well, it doesn't look hull red anymore. It looks like some sort of crazy maroon going on. Well, that's because of all the green. I'm pretty sure that's why. Now, I was going to head down to the workshop with this thing, and I was going to cut it off right here, and then spread it out, move this back about 2 inches or so, and then I was going to put a little splice. Of course, not this thick. I'd use a piece of plywood, and have it spliced right here. And then I realized, well, who says it has to go in the middle? Why couldn't I just have a piece of wood come here like this, and the same on the other side? And, there'd be an open gap here, but that's all right. It'd probably be, covered by something like this anyway. So, yeah, the ideas are slowly coming to me. A lot slower than they used to, apparently. Well, I don't come down here very much anymore. Now you're going to be seeing this unscripted, unrehearsed, and as it happened, including the fact that my dust collector hose had come off of the table saw. Well, at least I noticed before I started smelling the sawdust. Anyway, here we go. Just in case. Now, if you've watched very many of my workshop videos, you will have heard me say you can never have too many clamps. I believe I've got 23 or 24 of these little blue clamps. They're okay for light application like this. Otherwise, I like the orange ones. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give it about 2.5 inches, about like that, longer than it was for the Bismarck. And that should accommodate our hood here. And I've got to run around and try and find my glue. I thought I had it here handy, but I can't find it. It's somewhere in the house, because I know I didn't lend it to anybody, so it's got to be here. Anyway, I think that's it for today, folks. So, all being well, we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see how this glued up. Thanks for watching.